Okay, so Be'ezras Hashem, we are skipping just from the bottom of Tes Amud Beis to the bottom of Yud Amud Aleph, and we're going to pick up from here. Amar Rabbi Shimon leChavraya. Rabbi Shimon said to the Chavraya, "B'nei hilula da kol chad minchoin yikashet kishut echad lekala." So it's returning the narrative back after a long deviation away. The Zohar Kadosh is bringing us back to that conversation Rabbi Shimon is having with his Chavraya on the Leil of Shavuos, talking about the preparation for the Chasana, the Yichud of Zer Anpin and Nukva Be'ezras Hashem, which is ultimately going to be taking place on that day in order to megala the ultimate Yichud. And the secret of the Hachana was that by preparing the Kishutin for the Kala, by preparing the Tikkunim and the rectifications that emerge out of this world in Malchus, we get to taste the light of the Chasana even before the Chasana. And not only that, but the entire Chasana is dependent on the Hachana itself, meaning the Kala and all of the koichos of the Chasana of the Yichud are mechaka, are waiting and patient for those who were engaged in the process of bringing about the Simcha of the Chasana prior to the Chasana itself. And this is the secret of the Kishutei Kala on the night before the Chasana, which is the secret of Man Detorach Ba'erev Shabbos Yechel B'Shabbos, the secret of the Avodah in Shis Alfei Shana D'Havei Alma, in the realm of Bechira and Mishpat. Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Shimon says to the Chavraya, "B'ni hilula da." All of you who are members of this chasana, kol chad minchoin, yikashit kishut achad lekala. Each and every one of you should prepare a beautification for the kala. Rabbi Lazar Brei. Rabbi Shimon says to his son Rabbi Lazar, "Elazar ha nebazbez chad lekala dahol lemachar stakel kad yoyel lechupa beinan shirin v'shochen dihavule b'nei hechala lekaima kaima." Rabbi Shimon says to his son, Rabbi Lazar, who's always with his father, he says that you begin by giving a gift to the Kala because tomorrow you're going to be beholding the fact the songs and the or and the shvachin and the shirin that are oila. The secret of Aliyas Malchus is always Bashir, that the Bali Shir Yoitzin Bashir, that Shira is always, like we said about the Shem Mem Beis, it's the Gvuros that are oila milamata lamala, and the Shir and the Shevach is the Aliyah of Malchus to the secret of Yichud. And so, Rabbi Lazar, you start off with the Torah, do the preparation now so that you'll be able to properly appreciate what's happening tomorrow. And it's the song that the Bnei Hechala are going to be singing in front of her. Pasach Rabbi Lazar. Rabbi Lazar takes his father's statement and he takes it and he goes, there's no deviation. Pasach Rabbi Lazar. Immediately Rabbi Lazar opens up and he says, V'amar says the Pasach, Mi Zois Oilim in Hamidbar. Who is this who is ascending from the desert? Me and Zos. The question of who and Zois, which is the secret of thisness. Who is something that is concealed? It's the realm of Bina. Zois is something that is revealed. It's the realm of Malchus. It's the Hey Ilah and the Hey Tata, the revealed world and the concealed world. Shemayim and Aretz. These two inyanim of me and Zois. Me Zois Oilam in Amidbar. Who is this that is ascending out of the desert? Me Zois, the secret of who and this, concealed and revealed, generalized and particular, wonder and understanding. The train Kiddushin, the train Almid b'chibur achada v'kishur achada. This is the general principle of the two forms of holiness, the Yichud Ilah and the Yichud Tata, the secret of above and below, that are unified as one world, that are unified in a singular unification. Oilem Mamish, the secret of me and Zois, this Yichud of Malchus and Bina, the aliyah of this worldliness into the womb of Bina, into the womb of redemption, into the womb of Tshuva, into the place of Em Habanim Smecha, into that place of Hamtakas Kol Adinim B'Sharashim. Oilem Mamish, Malchus is Oilem Mamish into Bina. That Zois is Oila to me, that which is revealed ascends back to the questioning of what and who. So that it should ascend to the place of the Holy of Holies, the realm of Bina, the light of Yom Kippurim. The Kaddish Kaddishim me. The Kodesh Kodashim is me, it's the secret of me, it's the Nakud of Bina, it's the Shar Hanun of Bina that's Mechuber to the Nesiv Loya, the Ayat of Chachma, that Makom of the Chibur between Abba and Ima, and the secret of Chachma and Bina, which is Megala, or on Keser, that's Kodesh HaKodashim, that's the secret of me, Ben Shnei Akruvim, that me is there and it connects to Zois. The concealed reveals itself in the revealed, me expresses itself in Zois, revealing that what we think we know, we don't really know. And Zois ascends back up to me, teaching us that what we thought we knew, we didn't really know. We'll begin the Meheve Oila Dihu Kaddish Kaddishim, so that it should ascend upwards and enter into the Kaddish HaKaddashim. Min HaMidbar, this yichud of these train hayin of Malchus and Bina, of Alma Ilah and Alma Tatam and Ha'olam ala Ha'olam Atakel, Min hamidbar, it descends from where? It descends from the desert itself. For it's from the desert itself that she merited, the Shechina HaKadosh merited to become a Kala, to have that aura of Yichud, and to ascend to the Chuppah. What does it mean that it ascended out of the Midbar? That Malchus Yisrael was nivna out of Mitzrayim? That it's specifically the Kor HaBarzel that prepares us for Matan Torah? But why is it referred to as a Midbar? The fact that Malchusa Kadisha had to descend into exile, Malchuska Elamim, and it had to go down into Galus Mitzrayim after the secret of Yosef Atzadik, who goes down, Ben Yoyada, who's Yored into the Bor, Lahaka Sa'ari B'Yom HaSheleg. But what does it mean the midbar? Fine, we understand that the birur of Malchus for the preparation of Kabbalah Satorah came about. That secret of the Memtes Yimei Svir Sa'omer, which is the secret of preparation, which is as powerful, if not more powerful, than the arrival itself. Why are we referring to it as a midbar? Why is Mitzrayim being referred to as a midbar here? Uhu oila. It ascends from a midbar. Keda amar to midivrecha na'ave. Midivrecha na'ave. What does it mean? Furthermore, not only does it mean from Mitzrayim, that there was an aliyah, the midbar. Midbar doesn't necessarily mean desert, it means speech. Speech and the nature of a desert, midbar matana. A parched palate, the inability to speak, the capacity to speak, the secret of Moshe being Dibor, and Dibor being in Golus and Mitzrayim, the whole inyan of expressivity and the capacity to communicate from oneself into the world and allow the world to communicate itself into the individual, as well as the vertical type of relationship between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the self. All of this is rooted in the secret of Dibor. And this Dibor is ascendant, it's built specifically out of the Midbar. That the word midbar here, don't read midbar, that the yichud of mi and zos comes out of the midbar, the desert, but rather read it as dibor. It comes out midavarecha na'ave, bahahu midaber dilachishu. That's silent whispering, b'shafyan uhu oile. That's how zos ascends up to me. V'taninan ma'idachsiv. And it's taught, what does it mean when it's written? Ha'elihim ha'adirim ha'ela. These strong gods, not a Kadosh Baruch Hu, these strong powers. These are the celestial forces, the malachim, who hit Mitzrayim b'chol makeh b'midbar, with each and every makeh in the midbar. And is it true that everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did to the Mitzrayim was in the desert? It wasn't the desert. It wasn't the midbar. That we should say me and Zois is oilam in a midbar daika. It was a land. It was a city. It was an arranged city. It was a population. It wasn't just a desert that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought Nekama on. It was a civilization. Ella b'midbar b'dibura. But rather, what does it mean in the desert? Where does the yichud come from? B'dibura, with speech. Same secret of the desert, but within the self, the wandering as well as the Kabbalah Satorah. The chash and the mal, the silence and speaking. The cherev pipios, the two-edged sword of dibur. Kida amart, like the pasuk in Shir Hashirim says, how do we see the equivalency between the desert and speech? Umidevarecha na'ave. B'chsiv mimidbar harim oif hachi oilem min medaber. That it ascends specifically out of speech. Min medaber vadai, specifically from within the capacity of speech, of where the human being is able to engage with the zos of reality. Zos is what is present, that's malchus. And the only way for a person to begin to be mamtik, malchus, the only way for a person to begin to process what they experience in the world of malchus is the beginningness of dibor. The secret of Emunah, which is malchus, begins with dibor. A person has to speak first. Na'aseh v'nishma. Dibor is a maisa. Speaking is the affirmation of what I choose to believe in, and then only afterwards do I come to some experience of it or not. But ultimately, it's the choice to speak about it. I believe because I speak. This secret of Malchus is born out of the exile of the Midbar, specifically through the capacity of giving a mouth to Malchus, of giving speech to our experiences, which is the secret of Sefer HaTehillim, written by David Malka Mashiach, which is the secret of Malchus, which is also the secret of Hisvoidedus, which Rabbi Nachman describes as ultimately the next step of identifying ourselves within Tehillim, is writing our own Tehillim, and doing the same thing David Malka Mashiach taught to do, which is to speak to the Rabbanu Shalom and to be mizamer to him in every ounce and experience that a person has in this entire world. That's what it means that it's oilam min a dibur. that we ascend out of the desert through speech, and that's how we bring Zois back up to me. We realize that the Zoisness, thisness of life, what we encounter, tonight is Rosh Chodesh Kislev, preparation for Zois Chanukah already. Teisho Venosh Hadakan and Zois. What does Zois Chanukah mean? It's thisness. It's what a person encounters. And the tachlis is to bring the thisness of life, which appears to be an anonymous thing and a meaningless thing and a pointless thing. And we have to bring it back up to the one who spoke it into existence, to the me, to the who behind all existence. Mi kamoicha be'elim Hashem. Who is like you? Me. Everything that you reveal in this world, Ribono Shel Olam, beckons my mind to say again, me. I remember, it's you, me. That's the secret of Bina and the Sharim of Bina. And that's the secret of the Dibor that brings a person out of Mitzrayim. So too here, it's the secret of ascending from the Midbar, from the power of speech. It's specifically from that word that emerges out of the mouth. That word ascends out of the mouth, that tikkun, that limud Torah, that tefillah, that expression of love and connection and affirmation and truth and conversation. That word ascends upwards and it orients everything to connect downwards again, and it rests upon the heads of Klal Yisrael. How does life ascend out of speech? How does Malchus ascend back to Bina through speech? What's the practical expression of this? So the answer is, when a person wakes up in the morning, person should utilize their mouth to bless HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to say thank you, Hashem, to say Moida Ani, to express gratitude, utilizing the mouth itself, to utter the words. That's the Chiddush. B'shaisa, the patach einai, heich mevarich. How is it possible that the moment he opens his eyes, he's going to make the bracha? This is what the original Hasidim would do. Natla demaya have kaimei. They would place water near them. Bezimna the asher belayla aschin yadayu v'kaimi v'loim d'araisim v'varchei al kriyasa. When they woke up, they would wash their hands, and then they would go and they would stand and learn Torah itself and make the bracha upon the study of Torah. Tanagoyla kriyu kadein palgas laila mamish. When the Tanakh cries out at that midnight point, mamish, kadein kuchavdichu shtachechim tzadikayu begins the Eden. It's specifically the time, that moment of Chatzos. It's specifically that time where HaKadosh Baruch Hu is being mishta'asheya, is engaged in the Torah study with the tzaddikim, begins the Eden, meaning the tzaddikim find Gan Eden in their minds. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kaviyachol is mashpia, ha'arus of Gan Eden into the minds of the tzaddikim so that they can be mishta'asheya, begins the Eden. And it's forbidden for a person to make a bracha with hands that are unpure or dirty. And it's true at every moment. To begin the b'shaisa the barnash noyim ruche pirchem inu b'shaisa the ruche parchem inu ruche masabe zaman v'shaya al yade masabe line v'asir the barcha ad dahay b'loy netila. Because when a person goes to sleep and their ruach ascends out of them, and that moment that the ruach has ascended upwards, so there's a particular spirit that descends upon the person of impurity that rests upon their fingers. And it's forbidden for a person to make a bracha. What does it mean? What's the tumah again? B'derech drash, the tumah that emerges into a person. It's the forgetfulness of sleep, the ultimate fact that the most human being thing to do is to be a human being, and ultimately we find ourselves in a body. And this is the secret of the 16 shimos of the sleep of David Malka Mashiach, and the tzaddikim sleep and their mamtik sleep, and sleep becomes an ikr nekuda and avodas Hashem. But that's the secret of being human, is that a person is a bal shena, and to wake oneself up within sleep and not to fall into too deep a slumber. But the sleep itself is that moment of the necessary forgetfulness for a person who's not misdavik themselves to the or kedusha of chalomos, which is the or of kislev, so that a person can find the moment of shena to be a moment of hesach hadas. And hesach hadas is memela, the sherish of all orientation towards tumah or separation from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And as a result of that, so a person has to engage in washing their hands and to recognize that in that spirit of impurity, that spirit of mindlessness, that spirit of inactivity and forgetfulness rests at the very tips of the fingers, prepared to kind of pollute whatever it is that a person engages in that day with insignificance and meaninglessness because of that stage of forgetfulness and the strange notions of meaninglessness and dreams. But the Iker Koyach of Kislev and the Iker Koyach of Hanukkah is mamish the inyan of Chaloimos and Shena, Amelech Samech B'Shena, which is the secret of the slumber of Kislev, is the ability to dream, to the Chaloimos of Kedusha, to be Mahapech, the Demyonos, and all of those things that appear so extra, and not only the extras, but the extra of the extras, as the Mittler Rebbe points out in Parshas Vayechi in Taras Chaim, specifically to be mamtik all of that and to be mala them. So the inyan of sleep and the necessity of washing Til Sudayim afterwards is also, to a certain psychological drash orientation, a recognition of how we grapple with forgetfulness and the tendency towards forgetfulness and the fight for meaningfulness that we continue to fight for. We'll go a little bit weiter. And if you want to tell me that the reason for this need to wash the hands is as a result of falling asleep and having the ruach slip away, and if you want to tell me that the entire reason for this prevention of washing the hand of making a bracha before washing the hands, so then what's the reality of that during the day when a person is not sleeping? The secret is that a person still has to go into a Beis HaKisei. The Beis HaKisei is also that place of the irreducible element of the being human, which is both the makom of the weakness and also the makom of the deepest giloi in the world, as the Rebbe is masbir in his tshuva about schita on Shabbos. This koyach of being matak in the Beis HaKisei is one of the deepest avodas of encountering Bilam and Balak and all of that koyach of Pa'or chas v'shalom. And so the Zohar Kadosh is answering, it's not only about the departure of the spirit at night, but also it's the encounter with the meaninglessness of the day, meaning just as the dreamlike state is the meaninglessness of meaninglessness and seemingly random kind of explosions of thought that appear to go nowhere, which is a hesach hadas, which causes me to be susceptible to tumah, which necessitates a washing of the hands and a reorientation. So too during the day, a person enters into a Beis HaKisei, which is also the place of waste, which is also bringing to mind the very same notion of mutaros to mutaros. The chalom and the Beis HaKisei both at first glance appear to be part and parcel of the same wasteful nature of irredeemable things, which is, when looked at close enough, as the Mittler Rebbe points out in this Maimer Hanifla at the end of Parshas Vayechi about Yosef and Chalomos, is a real pause for wondering how in the world can a person continue? How could there be anything extra? So the Beis HaKisei encounter is also what orients a person to needing to wash their hands. Begin the and if you want to tell me that the reason for entering into the bathroom and needing to wash the hands afterwards is because of the dirtiness of the hands, but that's not always the case, because sometimes the hands are not dirty. Ella, what it is about the Beis HaKisei, it's not about the actual filth itself and the lack of cleanliness. But in response to this question of what is it about the Beis HaKisei that orients a person to Tumah, so the Zohar Kadosh exclaims, seemingly out of context, but rather, woe to those individuals in the world who do not pay attention and they walk around clueless and mindless to the beauty of their Creator, for they do not know upon what the world stands. And as a result of this iteration of this deep faith, Ruach Echad is b'chol Beis Kisei, there's a certain spirit that rests within each Beis HaKisei, which we can describe. Gemara describes exactly what it is in Brachos, but over here, in line with how we're understanding it, it could be those dimyonos that orient oneself, like Rav Dessler and Rav Hutner pointed out, that this can be also be a way of understanding the notion of the demons in Shas, and in all places. It could also mean states of mind or cognitive distortions or faulty thought patterns. Be'ezras Hashem. Okay, beseder. So in the bathroom, I'm sorry, but in the bathroom, the alma, there's a certain impurity, a spirit of impurity that rests there, that causes a certain lichluch, it causes a certain dirtiness that rests upon the hands, and a person has to wash their hands as well. Be'ezras Hashem. Okay, tomorrow we will continue with the new sugya.